And he has that. Yeah. And then you put the supporting system, the supporting cast around me to where it's not all glitz and glam. Nothing about Bo Nix jumps off the page athletically. Nothing. Like, he has a good arm.
He had that good catch.
He has a good arm.
He had the catch.
He's physically gifted, but not like Josh Allen or anybody like that. Sure. So he can run the ball if he needs to, get outside the pocket. But nothing that we look at him tells us, oh my gosh, he is unreal.
I agree.
And when you, and I know how you feel about this.
That could, yeah.
I know how you feel about this. But when he has a coach that constantly puts him in positions to be successful, and he starts to add pieces, and they haven't done that yet, especially at the skill position.
He did it without great pieces.
But like, that's my point. So I'm buying it. I'm buying it because Bo Nix, he's going to continue to be consistent. He's not going to be flashy, and we don't expect that. But if he
Greg got there. He had to fly in the air for a little bit. He had to do a couple laps around the airport before he could land down into this. I only saw the first 5 seconds of that clip, and it made me see red for a second, and I was like, all right, let me I want to make this a clip. And I even had a couple other clips like highlights queued up to be like, what do you mean nothing jumps off the screen? What are you talking about? And then now for the first time I heard the second part of it, and I was like, okay, you did good. You did good. I still disagree with Greg about that nothing jumps off the screen in terms of his mobility. Listen, I get it, on a spectrum, when you have Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, those, it's insane, right? You can't miss it. But Bo Nix has a lot of mobility and athleticism to his game. That's why I kept saying he reminded me of Josh Allen. But I always very firmly say, I'm not saying he is Josh Allen. I'm not saying he'll ever be as great as Josh Allen. I have no idea. But there's some similarities where I'm just I'm seeing a guy who can do a little bit of everything. That's what it really comes down to me. I see a quarterback who can do a little bit of everything. And what makes Josh Allen so elite is that it's just elite. And so it's how high when someone like Bo Nix can do a little bit of everything, it's well, so then where are the where are the levels of each skill set? Where is it going to max out? Right? That's to me where I'm just kind of and I don't know, right? It really is truly impossible to predict. But what I'm excited about is Sean Payton. If he not only if he didn't believe it, but he's already had enough post year one, right? We're now in year two. It's just we're in this weird space where it's we're kind of in year two, we're kind of not, but there's been plenty of interactions, obviously, with Bo Nix and Sean Payton within in a football world, beyond his rookie year, right? From March onward or whatever. He has to be continuing to get those signals, that evidence for him to be able to feel comfortable saying something like this. If he was just kind of not being able to see any type of progress or even the conversations that they're having, I'm sure they're sending texts and talking on the phone, obviously meeting in person, all that type of stuff. If he wasn't getting feedback that gave him the feeling of we're progressing, we're moving forward, even just conversationally, he wouldn't feel, I just don't think he would make such a bold statement, because he would say, I think he has superstar potential, or I think he could be a superstar. He's saying he's going to be a superstar. Words have meaning, and coaches know that better than anyone else. Coaches know that better than anyone else. Coaches and teachers. You really hear when your words, when people hang on to your words and your words have meaning. You can see it. Anyone who has kids will know that as well. You can see it. But it's a little bit different when it's kids and when you're talking with adults. Because kids are kids. But like when you're teaching people who are like, because I used to be a therapist at a men's inpatient rehab facility, which I've referenced plenty of times. It's like when I'm working with other people who are like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and I see them hanging on the words that I'm saying, I'm like, whoa, like my words have power here. And trust me, coaches know it. Coaches feel it. So him saying he's going to be a superstar, and this isn't just him again trying to speak this into existence. That's just I don't buy that at all. But I also just don't buy that, like, some of his stuff doesn't jump off the screen. I mean, they're down by 7, down by a touchdown. 12 seconds to go. 4th and 1 on the road. Rookie quarterback Bo Nix going up against an incredibly hot team at this point, Cincinnati Bengals. Flushed out of the pocket. I mean, it just doesn't get any bigger than this. Like, not only throwing off one foot, but like falling back. And like, this is the throw that he makes. Falling off, 4th and 1. Just seconds left on the clock. I mean, this throw literally needed to be I mean, do you see this? I'm happy I was able to pause it like this. Like, this is wild. I mean, obviously it was an unbelievable catch too. Don't get me wrong. It was a great play all around. But like, this was insane. A big part of that was because of his athleticism, because of his mobility. I mean, look how perfect this ball placement needed to be. I mean, do you see this? I mean, like, it was right where it needed to be. You literally, by definition, cannot throw a ball any more perfect than that. And he did this against the Cincinnati Bengals on the road in a gotta-have-it moment. 4th and 1. I think he threw the ball when there was like 8 seconds left to tie the game up. I mean, it's just wild. I mean, it was. I remember watching that game live. Truly stunning, absolutely stunning. I mean, here's a game against the Cleveland Browns. He's backed up in his own end zone. This is that big play where I think it technically went for like 97 yards or whatever it is, passing, but the ball's already out of his hand, right? He has to let it go pretty quickly. He had some protection, but he's obviously in his own end zone. Pocket started to get a little bit tighter. He's just letting this rip. He's throwing this ball, and receiver's not even looking at it. This is what we always talk about, like anticipation and what it means to be a great thrower and whatnot. You can see not even remotely looking. Ball completely released out of his hands. Had to get rid of it. Definitely had to get rid of it quicker than he would have wanted. And just absolutely pure perfection. I mean, just look at this. I mean, just, again, it's just, as long as you have the ability to just catch the ball, like just use your hands, it just doesn't get, it doesn't get more perfect than this. I mean, it's breathtaking. In a way, I'm kind of happy that people have been talking a lot about Bo Nix and haven't been giving him a lot of positive, because it's making me like go back and be like, I forgot about some of these moments, man. Like, again, I remember watching this game live too. It was like, oh my goodness. I mean, look at this. That's his hand, like over top of the ball. I mean, like, again, it still ends up being a beautiful catch, obviously, but like, this is just like, I got the chills. It's just wild to me. This is where it's not fair just to be like, he's got a pretty good arm, and nothing jumps out too much in terms of mobility. And it's just like, no. This was a game where, also, this will be the last kind of clip that I show you, where I know they ended up rushing for like over 100 yards, but they could not really get the run game going, and so much was lumped on Bo Nix's shoulders in this game. And it was just like, man, our offense is struggling to kind of get any type of production in various moments throughout this game. Like, it was a very like kind of stop and start thing. And because, again, It's 2nd and 10. Bo Nix, again, backed up in his own end zone again. And it's just like, we got to do something, right? And just relying on him, where he now just has to just run the length of the end zone, essentially, and then just throws an absolute dart. I mean, they were really just trying to do whatever they could to try to get this offense and just add some sort of dynamic kind of accent to it, where he then has to make, again, another throw on the run, throws off one foot, and again, it's a little blurry. There's no way for me to pause it in a clearer way of this, unfortunately. I wish I could, but like, you can see, blurry guy won with his hand kind of, I mean, just like, again, running down the length of the end zone, across the field, throwing off one foot, because it was just this, the way again, like I said, the way how this offense was going, it was just like, it felt muddled at times. It just wasn't smooth, and it was just like, we need Bo Nix in space. We need him to kind of run around. We need to get this defense just a little bit kind of like, what's happening here? It's not a matter of just like, sometimes you're moving as a quarterback, and it's not just to buy time in the pocket. Like, he had the protection, but it was just like, we need to kind of have you move around here. We need things to kind of just, we need the defense just to be a little bit unsure about what's about to happen here. And you saw Sean Payton relying a lot on that throughout this game. And like I said, it was definitely one of the weirder games, especially if you just look at the box score and you're just kind of like, what? How the heck did we get here with this score? And again, just Bo Nix using his legs, running down, making an absolute beautiful throw. Like, to me, that is athleticism and mobility that does jump off the screen to me. Throughout the entire season, Bo Nix was so light on his feet. And there's a reason why he was top 8 in the NFL in rushing yards. Right? Had 92 attempts. And he's up there with Lamar Jackson, mobile. Jaden Daniels, mobile. Jalen Hurts, mobile. Kyler Murray, mobile. Josh Allen, mobile. I mean, AR's got nothing else going for him except for him kind of just running around. And it's just like, we'll talk about Caleb Williams' mobility. Like, that's the thing. Obviously, Caleb Williams got a lot of heat for his season. And he deserves some of it. He deserves plenty of it. And I've defended him. But people have reliably said he showed me enough as to why he was the number 1 overall pick. That's what I've heard. And I don't even disagree with that statement. And at the end of the day, right, he was able to use his mobility to get to 489 yards. Bo Nix got to 430. 0 touchdowns and 10 fumbles. Bo Nix 4 touchdowns and 2 fumbles. I mean, this is such an under-discussed stat that and you guys know I've gone over this a lot, especially with regards to Bo Nix. I probably reference this with Bo Nix more than anything because I find it absolutely remarkable. I find it absolutely, positively remarkable that as a rookie, when dealing with pressure, he's definitely had a great O-line. No denying that. But the pressure to sack percentage is specifically like when the pressure gets to you, are you taking a sack? Like, at this point, it has nothing to do with your O-line. The closest you get to having it not be with you is going to be your offensive coach or offensive coordinator to help kind of give you the solutions to the problem. But since we know Bo Nix, a big part of him avoiding those sacks is not necessarily getting rid of the ball, like it will be for a Jordan Love, as you can see by 50 scrambles for Bo Nix, 42 scrambles for Josh Allen, only 12 scrambles for Jordan Love, right? Like, it's going to be kind of a combination. Like Brock Purdy, it's going to be a little bit more of a hybrid with some of his mobility. Stafford, right, has a low pressure to sack percentage. He has 3 scrambles, right? Like, so it's just going to be a little different. Same thing with Jared Goff. So it's still one of those stats that you kind of have to look at the stat along with what you're seeing, right? Why is someone not taking a lot of sacks? Is it his mobility? Is his coordinator doing a good job of giving him solutions to the problem when the pressure reaches there? Does he have a quick out? Any of that type of stuff. And the fact that Bo Nix was top 4, and we know a big part of that was because of his mobility, as well as Sean Payton, who definitely deserves credit for that as well. But we know, as we can clearly see the number of 50 scrambles and compare that to the other young quarterbacks who are in the 30%, 28 for Caleb Williams, Baker Mayfield 25.2, Aaron Rodgers 22, Jaden Daniels 22.2. I mean, like, That stuff matters. The same, similar number of scrambles, 48, and yet that pressure to sack percentage is just wildly different. 28.2 to Bo Nix's 13.3. That is mobility. That is athleticism. That jumps off the screen for me, man. Like, not everything has to be like I'm ripping off an 80-yard run or like a Lamar Jackson stiff arm, running down the side of the field and throwing a touchdown pass. Like, again, don't get me wrong. On a spectrum, some of the things that Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson do, you're just like, this is some of the greatest plays I've ever seen. But, like, I fear sometimes when we use certain language and when we're constantly comparing a quarterback to a Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, it's like, then we're still really underselling what, like, a Bo Nix was able to bring from a mobility standpoint. And I just, to me, that was one of the biggest things that stood out to me when watching him throughout that year. I was like, wow, this translates well in the NFL. I'm like, I'm impressed. And he understood his level of mobility way better than Caleb Williams. Not even particularly close. And that's actually how Baker Mayfield gets himself in trouble. He thinks he's more mobile and faster and stronger than he actually is. So it gets him in a little bit more trouble. He thinks he's more athletic than he actually is. It's not a knock on Baker. It's really not. But yeah, one of the most important things from an athlete standpoint is like understanding your strengths and weaknesses, what you can and can't do on a football field in any given moment. And sometimes you're going to take a lot of sacks because you're just really holding on to the ball. You're trying to do something. You're trying to do more than you need to. Like Lamar Jackson has obviously taken some really ugly sacks, and it's because he has the ability to do such amazing stuff that sometimes you are going to take like an epic 15-yard sack because you were trying to get out of it. And I think Bo Nix balanced that so well last year. And again, he did it as a rookie. Like, that's what to me, that is what jumped off the screen. Putting in the context of like, this is what I see as a rookie. I mean, this is now from 2023. Look at all the young quarterbacks. Bryce Young, Zach Wilson, Sam Howell, Aiden O'Connell, CJ Stroud. I mean, all significantly higher than what Bo Nix had. Baker Mayfield right on cue, 30.8. And that's something. Justin Fields, 27.1. Mac Jones, who Nick apparently thinks is equivalent to Bo Nix, 23.4. I mean, wow, Baker Mayfield is reliably right up there year after year after year. Zach Wilson. I mean, we see this all the time with younger quarterbacks. All the time. And Bo Nix didn't have that problem in year one. I find that wildly impressive. So, can you imagine if Bo Nix actually truly ends up being a superstar? One, it'll be another take that I knocked out of the park. And two, it would absolutely rock the NFL world. It would absolutely rock the NFL world. I think the two takes, I might have shared this or have shared it before. The two takes right now that I think have the potential to just make everyone just be like, I don't know how to make sense of this. I don't know how to make sense of this. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? I don't know. Everything I ever thought about football is wrong. Is if the Eagles win again and go back-to-back because they just won't understand like how Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts were able to go back-to-back, right? Like they're just like, they just wouldn't be able to accept that. Like it would be such a struggle to be like, what do we do with Jalen Hurts now, right? Like they just wouldn't know what to do if Jalen Hurts has 2 Super Bowls now and plays great in 3 of them, right? And then Jalen Hurts would have 2 Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes would have 3. Like it would just, it's like, to me, that's the thing that I want to see the most, mainly just because I just know it would just makes people's just head explode, and the media would just like, they just wouldn't know what to do with it. And the second is Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos being great, elite. Bo Nix outdueling Patrick Mahomes, beating them, winning the division, right? And it does not like it has to happen this coming season. Like there's obviously some runway here, but like it would just be like the Broncos are better than the Chiefs. Like wait, the Chiefs aren't front runners to win their division. Bo Nix is better than Patrick Mahomes right now. Like they wouldn't be able to handle it. They wouldn't be able to handle it. I mean, everything else feels kind of straightforward. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, right? Like that's a straight line. Joe Burrow wins the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson beats Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Like it's pretty linear. It's a pretty straight line. You're gonna get the takes that we've seen 10,000 times. If you want to get even a semblance of the takes that you would get, but with Bo Nix being great and being a legitimate superstar, and if he won the Super Bowl or just starts winning the division and being a legitimate threat to Patrick Mahomes, just look at any of the conversations leading up to the Super Bowl about the Philadelphia Eagles and the months after the Super Bowl of all the conversations, and just how they keep twisting themselves in knots and like still can't really fully comprehend and understand how Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles were able to humiliate the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, that is what's at stake for the Denver Broncos. Just box office entertainment, not only on the field, but then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, of all the shows, all the takes. That's what's at stake. That's what's at stake. I don't really think anyone else really has that right now. Not Jaden Daniels, because like I said, that'll be also straightforward. They'll praise him as being elite and special and, the next big thing. Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears, they want that so desperately to be a thing. It really just feels like it's just the next one would be Bo Nix and Denver Broncos. I'm trying to think if there's like any other kind of team that could maybe like have some of that similar energy. And I really don't think so. So it's great because I do believe that fully. And it's great to not only fully believe that that's what we would see if it happens, but it's also great that I truly believe that that's not only what the potential is, but what I believe Bo Nix and Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos will be able to like actually achieve. Like sometimes I'll see like this is what I think could happen, and I think it's possible, but it's not like what I believe is necessarily like what I'm predicting, and I mean that in the loosest sense. But like I am pretty confident that Denver Broncos and Bo Nix will put this thing together. So it's just like it's exciting to not only have both kind of beliefs in what we'll see when the outcome happens, and that I believe that the outcome has a high probability of actually happening, if that makes sense. So it puts a smile on my face because it's going to be so great to watch. It's been great to watch when the Eagles won the Super Bowl and watched all of that. You're just like, yep, keep trying to make sense of it. Keep trying to make sense of it. And reading the comments, it's fun. I'm telling you, man, it's a ride. It's just, and you got to enjoy it. So we got some time with the Broncos. It doesn't have to happen this year. I feel like for the Broncos, the clock, and Bo Nix for that matter, and Sean Payton, I guess, for that matter, the clock starts next year. Not to say they can't do it this year, not to say that they're not going to shock people, not to say that Bo Nix isn't going to take a massive step forward and already play like a superstar in year 2. Like, not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, I think year 3, especially, even if Bo Nix plays great or even just kind of has an average year or even a bad year, it's like, all right, year 3, Sean Payton, Bo Nix, like, this is it. Like, what do you got going? Like, come on, here we are. And it's just like, even if they play great and come up short, it's like, all right, year 3, let's get over the hump here. Come on. You took us to the divisional round, the AFC championship game, like, and you got rocked. Like, what do we do now? Come on, we got to get over this. So I feel like year 3 is when the hype really kind of starts to, or the volume really kind of starts to get cranked up. But yeah, year 2 is going to be a fun ride regardless. So, ooh, I cannot wait. These are the stories that got me so excited, man, for the start of this season. Oh, I can't wait. Especially because I just know how controversial it's going to be and how hard it's going to be for them to wrap their head around. Like, that's what excites me about it. That's what excites me about it. Oh, I can't wait. I'm so pumped. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. I've made today, because I have to kind of spread them out. I mean, like, I've made like 5 Bo Nix Denver Broncos videos, and I made them too much. I'm like, oh God, like I can't just post them all in one day. And it's just like, it's a free for all right now, man. It's crazy. And that's why I'm getting excited for September, October, and we got like real stuff to talk about, real stakes. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Denver Broncos and Bo Nix and Sean Payton saying that he is going to be a superstar and that Greg Jennings is saying his mobility doesn't jump off the screen. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.